Morning. Today we're having waffles for breakfast, and you know, I was using pancake mix to make waffles, but I used to make, when the kids were little, I used to make homemade waffles from scratch, and I decided, well, why am I buying stuff when I could make my own? But this time I mixed up einkorn flour with flour, and I made a waffle pancake mix that's all ready to use. So I have that in the freezer ready to use. I've measured 2 cups of my flour mix, and in my flour mix there's baking powder, einkorn flour, and all-purpose flour. A little bit of salt, not much. I've measured 2 cups of this. In this bowl I've got 2 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of olive oil. The recipe, my recipe calls for 1 whole cup of olive oil or melted butter, but I don't like to use that much, so I put in half the amount. Now I'm going to add 2 eggs separated. Separate my eggs. Oops, don't want any yolk in there. These make the fluffiest, most delicious waffles. Way better than any mix, I think. Trying to get all the egg white out. There. Then I have my handy dandy. This old mixer is about 40 years old, this mixer, an old Sunbeam. And I keep thinking, you know, it works well. I keep thinking, you know, maybe I should get a nice big, one of those big mixers like they are always showing on sale. But I feel kind of disloyal if I want to get rid of this old thing because it's been so good to me. So I'm gonna, oops, I got oil on these. My egg whites will never whip up. I'm just gonna rinse those off real quick because I don't want oil in there. Wasn't thinking. I want my egg whites to be beaten stiff, so I will rinse the oil off because that won't work. Wasn't thinking there. So, old Sunbeam. There we go. Whip these up till they're nice and stiff. I don't add anything to them. It's a noisy thing, but it sure works. Look at that. Look at how nicely it's, look at that. Pretty nice. I'm gonna do a quick stir of this. Egg and white, my egg yolk and milk and olive oil. Get rid of those. Now I can turn this up to turn my little waffle machine there. Makes a really stiff batter, as you'll see when I add this. So I'm going to add my egg yolk, milk, and olive oil and stir that up. I'm going to use my whisk to mix up the first part. See, it looks like it's really wet. Watch. It's like magic. You give it a good whisk. That's all it needs. And then add my egg white. magic. Watch what happens. I guess it's the baking powder, but it does it. So you mix that, fold those egg whites in. This makes enough waffles for both of us and for the dogs, because they love waffles. With a little bit of butter and maple syrup, they love it. Look at how nice and thick it's getting. Just till there are no whites showing anymore. I think that's good enough. Look at how thick that is. Oh, so nice. One. Two. Oh, here comes Migo. He knows when it's waffle day. Hey, Migo. And 4. All right, here's our first waffle. Look at that. Pretty nice. I usually spray a little bit of olive oil on the machine before I put this in. I didn't the first waffle because I saw that there was still a little bit of, you don't have to do it every time, but otherwise they will stick and they'll separate when you take them apart. So that's the second one. So now butter in every little hole. I'm going to put salted or unsalted. I'll put this because I have a bad habit of always putting butter in the fridge and never taking any out before I want to use it. I think let's spread that butter into all those little holes. You know I love butter. There we go. And strawberries have been so nice this year. We've been eating so many strawberries. They've been, and you can get them home before they start rotting usually. Oh, it's so bad. You don't have, by the time you get them home, you have to start looking through them to see if they're still good. A little bit of maple syrup. I don't like maple syrup so much on my waffles and pancakes because I think it's too watery. I like the old, I don't know what it is, the old stuff that isn't real syrup, but taste that. I want some with butter. These are crispy and light and fluffy. Really good. Einkorn waffles. Happy Sunday. Just a little add on here. I was saying that earlier that David likes maple syrup on his, and I don't like maple syrup. I like the flavor of maple syrup, but I don't like that it's kind of watery. It used to be a lot thicker than it is now. So David likes maple syrup, and I use this syrup. It says 10% maple syrup, so it's supposed to have the flavor, but I like it because it's a little thicker and it doesn't soak my waffle. It's probably not as good for you as maple syrup because maple syrup supposedly is pure maple syrup, and this probably has all kinds of stuff added to it, but I like it, so that's what I use. And We have a very eager volunteer here waiting for his waffles. Amigo loves waffles and pancakes, don't you, Amigo? Yeah, he does. And where's William? Hey, William. Where's William? William, you don't want waffles? Okay. Pour some of this. Look at this. Look at how much thicker it is. It just goes on so nice and thick. There we go. And some berries. There we go. Bon appetit. And we have two very eager dogs who've been so patiently waiting for their waffles. I have, oh, there's Willy. Willy, want a waffle? One for Migo, one for Willy. I put a little bit of butter on them, and I'm gonna just a little tiny bit of maple syrup. I don't put the others, my syrup on because, oh, did you finish it, David? A little bit of syrup and away you go. Come on, Willy. Come on, Willy. Come on. Come here. Okay, Migo, you know what you need to do. Willy, you know what you need to do. Sit, sit. Good boy. Here's yours. There you go. Migo, can you say, Migo, can you say please? Please. Please. Say please. Okay, good boy. There you go. They've been so patient about waiting for. Now, Willy's probably going to think that Migo's is better, so he's not going to eat his until Migo finishes. Then he'll check out Migo's dish. Oh, he's going to eat it. That's a lot of waffle for Willy. Oh, Migo will finish off what Willy doesn't. Migo loves waffles and pancakes. Okay, Migo, is that pretty good? Willy, should we give it to Migo? Should we give it to Migo? No? Okay, you eat it. Should we give it to Migo? Those are pretty big bites. Okay, boys. Migo's all done. There we go. And Willy, are you done too? Should we give it to Migo? Should we give it to Migo? Give it to Migo? Or do you want more? I think that's it.